I got the window done on the Airstream, and I took a break to eat because I was starving and it was 9 o'clock. Now I am going to put this little thing, I don't know what you call this, but this little doohickey that uses to, it's like a bracket or something that attaches to this hatch, and this has a little thing just like the windows where it has like a little hanger almost, and it just like hooks in there and hangs off of there and then locks in. So the original, I don't know if the original rivets were aluminum or if they got, busted, because this thing is almost 50 years old. It's 1972, Sovereign land yacht, and whoever owned this along the way, when they went to replace it, they just got like some, I don't know, steel rivets or whatever, but whoever put them in there, the replacements have since rusted out, and they were still actually functioning. They were doing their job. They just looked like they only had like maybe a few more months left on them before they were going to die altogether. A couple of them had actually already fallen out. So my husband's been riveting the roof of the Airstream and the upper sides using the hand riveting tool, because he didn't want to take that, he didn't want to use the one for the air compressor. Plus, he said that when you use that, you have to wait. You get about 6 rivets. You get about 6 rivets out of it for the air compressor that we got, and then you got to wait for it to like recharge or whatever. He didn't feel like waiting, and he's a big guy. I'm a tiny person. I'm 5'2" and 130 pounds, so I'm not very big, so I'm not getting ready to hand rivet squat. So I bought this on Amazon, this little drill bit piece. I think it was like 20 to 30 bucks. It wasn't that much. It had mixed reviews. Some guys, of course there were no females who reviewed it, but some guys were like, oh yeah, this thing was great, blah blah blah, I love it, yada yada yada, it does exactly what it needs to do. Other guys were like, oh, that thing's a piece of shit. Well, piece of crap, whatever. Either way, so I figured, there's a chance that maybe they just weren't using it right. I think they just weren't using it right, because I wasn't using it right, and my husband explained to me, demonstrated to me how to use it. I am a hands-on learner, so you can't just like tell me, you gotta show me. So you basically take this, I'm pretending like I'm riveting something. So you put the drill in reverse, hold this piece until it clicks. You hear it click, you know it's open. You put your rivet down in there, this little hole here. Then you turn it to drill in or whatever, and then you put your hand here again, hold on to it, and keep drilling, and it pops off. Obviously that was going to be in something. And then you put it in reverse again to open it back up, and that comes out. So I just did one hatch, and I'm getting ready to do the other hatch that's off. This was so easy, a caveman probably could do it, or someone who's not a DIYer. I know I don't look like your typical DIYer, but I get in all types of stuff, as long as it's not too terrible, not too terribly difficult. This is pretty simple, I think. Actually, I think I better clip this down. I had it clipped down before. Hey, Ruru. Why don't you eat that bone, honey? This is Ruru, otherwise known as Rose. Hey, pretty girl, say hi. She is a Newfoundland poodle, 16 months old. I'm a cat person, to be all honest. I didn't really want a dog, and so when I got outvoted by the kids and my husband, on getting another family pet when I was honestly just hoping for the cat to live out his long life, and then I was going to be done with pets because I don't want to be bothered with the maintenance. I love animals, don't get me wrong, people. I love animals. I just didn't want to be bothered with the maintenance. And my husband finally looked at me and said, you know, we really need a dog. The family needs a dog. So I chose a dog that would be willing to chill when I wanted to take a nap because we were working night shift at the time, and would also be ready to play when we were ready to be active. And this dog has become my dog and goes everywhere I go. So that's why she's there. So enough talking. Let's work. So, one rivet down. Throw that in the trash. And honestly, these are just some cheap rivets that I got off of Amazon. Don't knock Amazon. Put it back in drive. Another one down. And the key is making sure the rivets are long enough, because I accidentally used a rivet that was too short. I thought it was like just right, and it didn't have enough room to go all the way through and seal properly. So yeah, it sealed it, but it left a hole, so I had to drill that out. So the rivets that I'm using, for comparison's sake, are, oh, I guess I should be holding it this way, are this long, and when it goes into the hole, if you can see, there's about, see how much, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, almost double the thickness is what it winds up being. But it works out perfectly, because when you rivet it on there and it snaps off, there leaves a little bit of a bulge that seals it completely so that you can't get any water or anything in there. I could have been lazy and left the other one in there and just put some Trim Pro into the hole, but one, that's lazy. Two, I think it actually would have taken more work to go and get the Trim Pro out and Trim Pro it. And three, now I know it's tight. So here we go. It was so easy, so quick, and it's on there, and it's not going anywhere. Will I be riveting this Airstream? This into like all these walls in? Doubt it. I don't think that that's what I'm going to be doing, but little stuff like this, totally. So I got this down. Now I just need to put some of this handy dandy, whatever you want to call this, weather stripping, because as I said before in the last video, I am on weather stripping duty. I know it sounds like, I don't know, like kitchen KP or like KP kitchen duty or whatever, but that's what I kind of feel like, because I'd much rather be building cabinets. But this is equally important, so I'm going to do it. So this is what I did to the other one and what I did to the window. Now for the window, all I did was I actually split this in half on the window, because the window is, and you can actually tear these in half. On the door, we did this double, and this is just this stuff, this Auto and Marine Rubber Weather Seal from Lowe's. Probably could have found it cheaper on Amazon, but I needed it today. It was like just under 10 bucks. It was like $9.90 something, and then military discount, 10% off, so it was like $9 at Lowe's. Not too terrible, but it's per thing, and I had to get like 7 packages for the total So about 70 bucks. But it's worth it if it means that it's going to keep all the water out. And my husband put some on the door. He doubled it up. He probably should have just did one like the window, because now it's very difficult to shut the door. However, when it rained again, not a drop got in there. I don't think a gnat could squeeze through that. I don't think coronavirus could squeeze through that. It's so freaking tight. There's no room for anything. We may have to take that down to just one in the future. Who knows? But for now, as long as we can shut the door, I guess it'll work. So this stuff just sticks on, and it's really sticky as long as the surface is completely clear. So I got this goof off for the window because I used the heat gun to get as much of the stuff off as I could, and almost all of it came off on most of it, but there's some parts where I couldn't get off, so I used this goof off. This stuff, I'm not very impressed with it. Honestly not. Yeah, so like, I guess if it was just like super glue or just regular glue, it probably would have worked. But that stuff says it gets off epoxy and all kinds of other stuff. That did not really work for me. I put it on there, I squirted it directly on there, let it sit for a few minutes, and then I took the scraper and I got some of it off, but I didn't get all of it off. So I ended up having to go back with some, it's popping up my phone right now, Loctite spray adhesive. This stuff has become our best friend because my husband used that to put up the reflective insulation. Now, right now the insulation is kind of leaning, looks like hot garbage, because he peeled it off. So it was up there. He just actually had to pull it away once we discovered that we didn't seal the trailer completely. Had missed a few spots, so he had to pull all of his hard work away so that he could figure out where the water was coming in, and he will have to do more Loctite spray adhesive, but that stuff is so wonderful. So this stuff was not sticking to the window in some places very well, so I sprayed some of that on there, waited about a minute for the glue to get tacky, and then I applied this, and it's been fine ever since. The goof off professional super glue remover, I will say, did work to wipe off the excess residue from the Loctite. It worked for that. Do not buy it for scraping this stuff off. You'll be wasting $5. So this is all ready to go on. I do have some more of this stuff, this leather stripping stuff. I don't think I'm gonna need it because on those two hatches the two hatches that I'm doing right now, they formed a pretty tight seal. It wasn't airtight because this wasn't on there, but it was actually a pretty good seal without the weather stripping on here. So I don't think I will need this. However, the one on the driver's side of the trailer, even after I put this weather stripping on it, there was a gap, I guess maybe a third, probably about a quarter to a third of an inch thick. That was still, even after you closed it and locked it, there was a big gap, and big puddles of water had gotten into there and was coming into the Airstream. So that wood's still good. It's dried out now, thank God, because otherwise that'd be just one more thing for us to fix. So I put a thick piece of this. Actually, I used thicker than this. It's like double the thickness. I think I'm going to go back in a few days and scrape that off and switch it out to this, because that one's a little too thick. But yeah, it's now perfectly sealed. So I've got one, and I just got to put this on, and then this will just hook on to the thing and close and lock, and it'll be all done. Thanks for joining me.